I put it in right?
Yep.
Look at these waves. Look, here it comes. Oh my God. Woo! Nice.
You're on.
Well, hello there. We are in Fernandina Beach, Florida, Amelia Island, Florida. And I got to say, this is a beautiful community here. We're looking forward to seeing how this town preserves itself. Just walking through, I can see that they take great pride in their community. It's beautiful. It's a gorgeous town. We're in the historic district. One of the things I like about it is it's not overly touristy. It's a little bit touristy, but it's not a tourist trap. It's not over the top. I've been in communities where you go to see the historic district and everything is banner here and a T-shirt and mugs with all their names across it, and it's like buy this, and they're overpriced. And it's big tourist trap. You don't see that here. Souvenir shops, you can go in and buy a mug with Amelia Island on it, but it's not in your face, so it's not like that. It's just a kind of a low-key thing. But the historic district is full of shops. Great place to come and shop. It's mostly high-end stuff, but it's a beautiful community. So we're going to go check it out. Amelia Island, Florida. It's what is it? Fernandina Beach. Fernandina Beach, and on Amelia Island, here in northern Florida, just north of Jacksonville. We're going to walk the tour and see what it's all about. So come along. Next to where we were just standing is the historic train depot here in Amelia Island. It's now the Welcome Center, and it's right here on Center Street. It opened in 1899. And was the railroad depot until the 1930s. It's the second depot for Fernandina Beach and built for Florida's first cross-state railroad. So it was constructed between 1855 and 1881 and destroyed by a hurricane in 1898. But as you can see, they rebuilt it and it's standing strong. In 1777, May of 1777, the Continentals landed here on the north end of Amelia Island at Old Town Bluff, just about a mile from where we're standing now, and engaged in a skirmish with British troops here on the island. And Robert Ward, an officer, was killed with two of his soldiers also wounded, and he ordered the houses burned. Well, Colonel Elbert with Continental ordered the houses burned and the destruction of all the cattle. So Amelia Island was caught up in the Revolutionary War, and so it's been here a long time. Okay, the Duryea building looks like it's a restaurant currently. It's closed because they don't have any cooks. But this is the
It's only closed for today because they don't have a cook.
They don't have a cook. That's a sad situation for a restaurant. Anyways, the Duryea building. Now it is home to the Marina Seafood Restaurant, built by Major W.B.C. Duryea in 1882, and was the house of the Customs House at the time, and the Florida Mirror newspaper, and also the printing plant. And then later on, the first bank of Fernandina was there, and there was a bar on the first floor, evidently. So rumor has it that Major Duryea was stationed here during The occupation, evidently of the Civil War, the northern occupation of the town, decided to make Fernandina home and convinced his wife, Amelia, to move here by telling her the island was named for her. Oh, well, I guess that would convince me too.
Advertisement painted on the side of the building. It's clearly been preserved, because otherwise it would have faded by now.
Yeah, very well preserved. Okay, so alright, the Palace Saloon is billed as the oldest bar in Florida. I think this is pretty neat. It was constructed as a haberdashery in 1878 and purchased in 1901 to be transformed and reopened as the Palace Saloon in 1903. And the interesting thing is here you can see the saloon doors. They're not used, obviously, but you can see the saloon doors here. Another one over there. And of course they have the modern doors here, but this is pretty cool. The palace survived the Prohibition years by selling Texaco gasoline, ice cream, special wines, 3% near beer, and cigars. Well, I certainly would have been a patron. 201, and you can see the 1876 right there. Alright, so you can see across the street here the Chandlery building. This building is very pretty, one of the prettiest in downtown historic district here. Takes up half a block on Center Street and a good half a block on the perpendicular street, which I think is Second, if I'm not mistaken. And it was built as a grocery store in 1876. And then the third floor was added in 1901, and I guess it's best known for being a chandlery for Fred Hoyt's ships. Today it's just housing retail stores and of course a Berkshire Hathaway real estate agent office. 2 Center Street's a 3-star saloon. It's got 3 large stars. You can't see them maybe because of the tree.
You can see one of them.
But you can see one of them probably there on the right. The other 2 are covered up by the tree. It was originally the 3-star saloon, built in 1877. And the owner evidently sampled the merchandise. His daughter sold it after he died on the condition that alcoholic beverages would never be sold there again. And it's never been a saloon since. Right next to it is the Angel building. It was built in 1885, and it was once home to a bakery, grocery store, and a drugstore, and of course a local telephone company. It's a beautiful building that now houses a jewelry store. The City Mart here at 218 Center Street. The original building was destroyed in a fire, but the current building was rebuilt here in 1884. You can see the beautiful windows there at the top. It's known for those windows. Beautiful architecture. It's been home to a clothing store, the Fernandina Development Company, Arthur Style, and Oscar Thedes Bar. And now you can see it's a fantastic fudge shop. I'm going to guess the fudge is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It's pretty.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so this is the Florida House, and you can see it's a beautiful green building. It was built in 1857 by David Yulee's Florida Railroad, It's the oldest operating hotel in Florida. No one has ever proved this, but some people believe General Ulysses S. Grant was entertained in the dining room during a visit to the island in 1880. Cuban patriot and poet Jose Marti lived at the inn in February 1894 during the struggle of independence of his country. So it's got a little bit of history to it. It's a beautiful building, still standing. The oldest hotel in Florida, folks. Book your room now.
Nice.
So here we are at the Nassau County Jail. It was built around 1878, refurbished in 1935. It continued to be the county's jail until 1978, and you can see the bars there on the door. In 1980, it opened as the Eight Flags Museum of Nassau County, and then in 1986 changed its name to Amelia Island Museum of History, and it's on the National Register of Historic Places. So a lot of history took place here. I don't know if there are any famous criminals housed here, but there's a little bit of a history of the jailhouse there.
Okay. I think you can pause your video and read the history.
So 301 Center Street, the Kidd Building, it's the oldest business building in downtown Fernandina, constructed in 1873 and housed the dry goods business of James and Thomas Kidd, K-Y-D-D. The adjacent building, or the adjacent Allen Building, A-L-L-A-N, was built in 1911 and was a former department store, but now it's an office building and one of the last buildings erected on Center Street. Architect James Knox Taylor began construction on the post office and customs house in 1909. The dedication was in 1912. Yeah. You can see the Italian Renaissance style of architecture. On the second floor of the post office is a fully restored courtroom that served the area early in this century.
Beautiful fountain. Here we go.
I'm not quite sure how to pronounce this name, Lesane or Lesesne, but this house in the classical revival style was built by Dr. John F. Lesesne in 1856. It's one of the oldest homes in Fernandina Beach, constructed of hand-hewn lumber fastened with wooden pegs. After he left Fernandina during the Civil War, the doctor never returned, and the house became the property of the family of Judge John Friend. It's still in the family, I understand.
Yep. Is this one next?
This is the Nassau County Courthouse.
You're too far away.
The Nassau County Courthouse was built in the classical revival style in 1891. It features cast iron Corinthian columns and a massive bell tower and steeple. If you look straight up there, you can see that. Manili and Company cast the bell for the tower, which was used as a fire alarm for many years.
Thompson House.
Alright, so we're standing in front of the Thompson House. It was built in 1872 and once was the home of State Senator William Naylor Thompson. It has some beautiful arched bay windows, along with a grand central staircase in the entry hall. And you can see the building is still standing. Could use a paint job, but it's still a gorgeous building.